Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to give you a tour of my studio, my craft room. I'm going to start off with giving you an overall look and then I'll go through every bit step by step. First of all, the plaque that you're looking at now is the plaque that Stampin' Up put on each of our doors when we went to the incentive trip to Thailand last year. So we all get to bring them home as souvenirs. I'll show you the one that we got from Thailand this year as well when we get there. Right, very slowly I'm going to try and turn around without making you feel sick and see if I can stand in the door and look in. But let's try and zoom out a bit. Okay, very roughly. It's not a huge room, but this will give you an overall idea. Okay, let me come back to where the door is. Alright, so I'm going to imagine that I've walked in the room and I'm turning off to the left. And just behind the door is an IKEA unit, which the top three shelves, the second, third and fourth shelves are all new stamp sets from the Christmas catalogue, the autumn winter catalogue, and then the rest of the shelves are stamp sets that I really don't want to get rid of, so I'm going to be keeping those 4 shelves. Okay, the very top shelf here, there are 3 the stamp cases that I've decorated, and inside the first one has pieces of cardboard that I've cut to size that I can put inside an envelope with a greeting card if I've put some embellishments on it. So I put that over the embellishments and it protects the envelope from getting damaged in the post. Then there's wax paper, which I use for dies if I think they're a bit sticky, and also my doilies, all shapes and sizes in there. Right at the top there is a flask that we were given by Stampin' Up at the last centre stage we went to. Right, centre stage, by the way, is the evening before on stage, and it is a special meal for people who've Silver Elite and above. Right, so most of the things you're going to be seeing in here are Stampin' Up related. I'm Stampin' Up through and through, and I very rarely use anything that isn't theirs, unless it is a product that they don't actually make themselves. So starting on this shelf, the pink bit, that's is it an APG gun, SPG gun or something? It's a glue runner. Why anybody would want one so big, I don't know. I bought one years ago, and you know, you just don't get rid of these things, do you? I'm a bit of a hoarder as well. Right, now this tray are retired ribbons. These go back from when I first joined Stampin' Up. Most of the colours are still current. Well, I can see a couple in there that aren't. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with the ribbon, so I would use them on my own personal projects. Next to those are 4 of the binders that I use for my dies. When I get round to the current ones, I'll pull one out and show you. But these are all the retired ones. As you can see on the tags, I filed them all in alphabetical order. I am happy to sell these ones as long as somebody wants to buy the stamp sets as well. It's just that I don't have time to get them all sorted out as to, you know, what is actually there or not. Next to those are some new stamp cases, the single ones. I'm surprised I don't see any double ones there, but never mind. The pile of cardstock next to that, from the top down to that one there, they're all current colours, and these are all retired colours. It's what I got caught with when Stampin' Up changed their, did their colour revamp earlier this year. Up here, this is my scales that I use for weighing my letters and my post and my parcels and everything to send out customer thank you gifts. The next pile to that, that's my Whisper White cardstock, very vanilla, shimmery white and vellum. And then next to that are my pots that have got my embossing powder in, like my copper, my white, my silver, clear, black. It takes up a lot of room like that, but it's just so easy to use. Right, move to the end, and the two units there, they hold 12 by 12 patterned paper, but all of it is non-Stampin' Up. I have so much stuff in here that I'd like to get rid of, but I can't just throw things away because there's nothing actually wrong with it apart from the fact that it isn't Stampin' Up. So it's going to just stay sitting there until whenever. Then the next unit, oh by the way, my units here, with the exception of the two IKEA units and my dressing table, and the desk, are all from a company called Storage for Crafts. And the units, the small ones that you can see here, are all relatively cheap to buy. The ones underneath, that these are all standing on, they are more furniture type prices, but the quality is absolutely amazing and you get to choose. But I'll show you that when I get down to that bit. Right, so the first one, in here I have, let me just move over, the top tray, that's full of magnets. Now that's individual magnets and also sheets or remainders of sheets where I've cut a sheet size. Then there's acetate vellum. These are alphabet letters I've die cut but never got around to using, so they're just languishing there. And then these are my cropped plastic wallets. I'll show you what I do with those. Then I have a case for the blocks, which I used to use all the time because it's great for storage, but I have so many blocks now that I just keep them on my desk in one of the drawers. The next is a small guillotine, which I very rarely ever use. I just keep it handy in case. And then there's my envelope punch board, which I use a lot. And then two mats for the Sizzix die brush, and then two piercing mats. As you can see, I've got lots of snacks at the back there. These two golden white striped tins are full of those little thingies. I'll show you what they are. I'm not embarrassed. Okay, they're Alpenlight salted caramel, and my other favourite one, I don't know if there are any there or not, but are the fudge and chocolate. When hubby finds them on offer in Poundland, he just buys me a whole stack of them. So they will last me a long time. Right, now on this unit I have, the bottom tray is our thick Whisper White and very vanilla. Now in here I should be able to show you, in fact I haven't actually cut this one. No, I haven't. Normally what I do with my, when I said cropped wallets, I normally cut that strip off at the top. But I cut them down like that so that I can put all these small offcuts in. In fact, this isn't really a very good example, this tray, because I'm very lazy with this one. I'll try and show you one of the colour ones. Move that down. Right, and then the next one is some retired cardstock that Stampin' Up used to sell. Absolutely brilliant, that was really lovely. And then it's our glossy paper, and these are the offcuts of our foil and offcuts of our glimmer paper. I'll show you where I keep the whole sheets in a minute. Here are my all my pens. I have just ordered another 6 of these racks. They're individual racks, and you can stack them. You can either stack them straight like that, like the mine are, or you can stack them so they're slightly back from each other, so you get a slant. I've got 3 of the racks on my desk, which I'll show you, but there's not enough room for all of the new blends, so I've ordered those. I'm waiting for those to arrive next week sometime. So at the bottom of these are the current marker pens, and that's from about there down, and from there to there they're doubles of whatever's down here. These are all the old blendabilities, which I loved. I never had any problems with them, but I know some people did. So Stampin' Up weren't happy and they pulled them all, which that's typical of Stampin' Up. If they're not proud of something, then they'll do something about it. The marker pens on this side are all retired colours, and then moving up there's a whole selection of different bits and pieces, including my white gel pens and my Sharpie pens too. Right on the top there are some very fine tip marker pens, which I have used sometimes if I've missed a bit of stamping. I've been able to touch it up with using one of those. At the top there is my bow maker, which I really wish Stampin' Up would come out with one of, and that's my Stamparatus as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And in the corner here are 3 of my often used books. The first one, the white one, is our compensation plan, which I often need, especially when I'm talking to members in my team. They ask me a question and I think that I know all the answers, but sometimes somebody throws me a question that I'm not totally sure of, so I do check it up. And then the pink one is the folder that I call my stamp reference file. So if I'm looking for something in particular, maybe I'm looking for a special sentiment, then I can just go through here, and it's a very easy way of finding anything. And all this is I have gone through and photocopied all of my stamp cases. I don't bother taking them out of the cases or anything. I just pop them under the lid of the photocopier like that, and that's it, done. And this one is very similar with my embossing folders and my dies. Again, I will show you this when I get round to one, but this is loose leaf so that I keep them in alphabetical order. Okay, don't know if you can see that if I'm going off camera a bit, not off camera but going too much at an angle. There we go. Okay, so that's all of those. Again, if I'm looking for something in particular, sometimes it's easier to look through that, although quite often it's just as easy to go through the actual dies. Now on this one, these are all the current colours in our cardstocks. I keep them in alphabetical order, and when I show you my filing system where I keep them, I have one hanging file for each colour, and every now and again I will top each folder up to make sure that they've got 10 complete sheets. I find that that works well with me. I don't think I've ever run out of 10, but then I suppose I'd probably do a top up when I know it's getting a bit low. Right, below that, now we come to the more like proper furniture units. There are 2 here, and they are 3 columns long, each of them, and you choose what you want your carcasses fitted with. You have the choice between the paper trays. You have 1 inch, 2 inch, and I think it's 3.5 inch, possibly 4 inch trays. So what we did was, before we actually bought them, we went and, because we saw these at a craft show, and we bought one each of the 3 trays, and because I had stuff all over the place by the time we were looking for proper furniture, I was able to roughly calculate how many 3 inches I needed, how many 2, how many 1, how many paper trays and such like. And I have to say, it has worked out pretty well. It was well worth doing that. Right, so the first one is my designer series paper, and what I do with this is, on the left hand side I label with the name of what the designer series pack is called, and then on the right hand side, in much smaller writing, I label up the colours that the set coordinates with. So if I want to use one particular colour, I can just go through those little lists and pick out which one I think I would like to use. Further down there are some retired designer series papers, which I leave there all the time. I don't need that space, because when I'm making a test item for a project, I'm more likely to use something that's retired, just in case I spoil it. I get less upset if it's a retired item than current. So the next column we have, first of all, it's foil, and this one's a bit too full. I can't push that in anymore. But I have all the colours that are current colours and retired colours as well. This is the Glimmer Paper. All of these are the 12 by 12 sheets, but any offcuts go up in the boxes up there. The white that I have here is actually Dazzling Diamonds, which is retired, but we do Sparkle now, which looks more or less the same. This next one is Clear Acetate, so that's the 12 by 12 sheets, and the offcuts get put up in one of those boxes over there. Fabulous Foil Acetate, this has retired, but I can't bring myself to get rid of it. And then the next three are all envelope papers that have retired. When I heard that Stampin' Up were retiring them, I did buy several packets of them, because I will still use them even though I can't use them for demonstrations. And then I'm just going to try and turn my chair around so I can actually sit down and face what I want to show you, rather than tilting the camera down. Then I have my 12 by 12 cardstock, and some of them, like this one here, and further down this one, and the black and the cherry cobbler, I bought quite a lot of that when Stampin' Up had them in packets and they were reducing them, because it doesn't matter whether, when I'm making a project, whether I'm using A4 or 12 by 12. I mean, obviously sometimes it matters that I need 12 by 12, but if I want A4, then I can obviously use this. And on this I have all the colours. I have the neutrals, regals, brights, subtles, and both lots of the in colours. And I also have one lot of retired colours, not many now, but those, which is what I use if I need to do a 12 by 12 project. The first one I will use a retired colour. Now the rest of the drawers are not Stampin' Up, but there are two here that I use. One is this one here, and it's Funky Foam. I used some of this recently in one of my projects. And the other one I use is tissue paper. Sometimes I just wrap something that I'm putting into maybe a box or a pouch that I've made, but also I make my own shredded paper as well. In fact, maybe I'll do that as a quick 3-minute video, show you how I do that. Let me know whether you're interested, and I'll do that. Right, now I have loads and loads of ribbon here. Only the top 3 drawers are Stampin' Up. The first drawer is all baker's twine or linen thread, and I put these in little bags of 2 because I can't stand the mess of them all unravelling. And what I have started doing recently is I have, if you can see on that one, I have started writing the name of the colour on the side of the tube. I wished I'd done that a long time ago, so all of these were named. Unfortunately they're not. That's a trio pack. That's a lot better. You can see how I've done it on there. Okay. That really is a good idea, a good tip for that one. And this one are largely retired ribbons, but not all. This one obviously isn't. This is just a full one that I don't need in the drawer below just yet, this one. that you probably recognise quite a lot of them. Some of them are retired colours, but plenty of them aren't. So again, I can use them on my own projects. And this is largely non-retired. Don't you think this one is just absolutely gorgeous? So how do I stop my ribbon drawers getting in an absolute mess? Up until recently, the way I've been doing it is, if I can get this one out, I put a little bit of snail on there, and then I put my ribbon onto it, and then once that's on, I put that into the drawer first. If I've done that to a ribbon and I don't use a ribbon for quite a long time, then some of the sticky will come off on the ribbon and I have to cut it off. But for me, that's a small price to pay for having a nice tidy drawer. But what I have started doing recently, and I've done it to these four, this red one, and this black one as well, I've actually left the cellophane on. I've worked to find the end, and I just pull it out. Okay, so that's still got the cellophane on there and it's holding it in place. Okay, that is still quite a long piece, but I put where it's actually coming out, I put that in first, and that will keep it at an absolute minimum. In fact, I could try twisting that. I don't want to give it too much movement, otherwise it might make the cellophane come undone, which now that I found this, I don't want it to do. That one, oh no, that is stuck down, I can see that. It's just got a long bit. But that's how I keep my drawers, my ribbon drawers, nice and tidy. So no, right, let me get down to the floor again. Ignore what it says on the side here. Some are true, some aren't. Right, this one is Tombow, and this is something else I bought when Stampin' Up said they were retiring. The two-way glue pen. That's another fabulous product. So sorry to see that go. And sponges, which I cut into four. These are the old shape, I think, and these are the new ones. Either that or the other way around, I'm not sure. And also our sponge brayers. If you've never tried these, do. They are fabulous. I never thought they would win because they look too flimsy to me, but they do. And of course the Dulvers. In here, no, this is largely not Stampin' Up, isn't it? In fact, the only thing in here that's Stampin' Up is the little pots. Now we're on to Stampin' Up. Again, something else I bought a lot of. The basic rhinestones and also the pearls, because Stampin' Up was stopping doing the line of 3. So I thought I'd buy several of those. And I'm glad that I did. Glue dots and snail. I also have some of these as well. Stampin' Up stopped doing that. And also my dimensionals. I get through loads of those. And the strips. Sorry, I don't think I was paying attention there, was I? And I've also got a couple of Wink of Stellas as well. Right, now this is the Stampin' Up tear and tape, which I use. This is red sticky strip, which isn't Stampin' Up, which I do use. This is one of my little bits of naughtiness, but I do like red sticky strip. That's not a Stampin' Up one. That should be in there. And I've still got one of these, which is like, you call them a Swiffer, I think, in the States. But this is what mops up all the dust and things like from embossing powder. There's that. And then in the last drawer I have my labeller, my brother labeller, which is what I do for all of these, the big writing and the little writing. And I use 2 tapes. Both of them are clear. One of them has black writing and the other has white writing on. And these are my self-adhesive stickers that I put on my projects. Okay. Now, let me stand up again. Now on to the next one. Most of this next 3 columns is not Stampin' Up. So first of all the narrow trays are old wooden stamps before I joined Stampin' Up. The next 2 trays are Stampin' Up, and these are lots of the embellishments. The feathers aren't, they were mine. So lots of different bits and pieces there. I think most of that is Stampin' Up. And this one is Stampin' Up, apart from these little wobble things, if I want to do wobble heads, and these as well. These ones are a bit stiff. They work, but they're a bit stiff in comparison to those. That's not Stampin' Up, that was just something that I collected. And I think, yeah, that's all flowers from there on. Yeah, nothing else Stampin' Up. Right, now the last 2 are all punches, and they're non-Stampin' Up punches, except for a couple in the circles. I've got all of these filed with square punches, circle punches, scallop circle punches, etc. But in the circle one, I have this one, which is my 1/8 inch handheld, and this is, no, this is my 1/8, must be a 1/4, don't know, I need to check that. And then I have my crocodile, which Stampin' Up used to sell. It's a great tool, that one. That punches holes like it's going through butter. And on the other side they're all inks and embossing powders, what have you, which I don't use. And having said that none of these others are Stampin' Up, one of them is, and I think it's this one. And this is some of the retired punches. With all of my things, if you see something with a coloured dot, you know it's retired. Okay, right, now stand up again. I'm going to turn round to face this wall, and I love these 2 units. Absolute, the size is just absolutely spot on for our re-inkers. If you turn them sideways, the little pots of embossing powder, they are just so brilliant. I bought them from a beautician's wholesalers, did it online. That was really money very well spent. And then let me just bring my chair over so I can sit down again. Right, now this unit here is where I keep my cardstock, my A4 cardstock that I'm actually using. If I could just bring one out. They're all in alphabetical order. There we go, what's up with me today? So this is a cropped plastic bag. Okay, so I've cut the side off, and that's where I keep all my pieces in, all my spare bits, because I don't like to waste anything. Every colour also has a Ziploc bag, and into this goes anything, any shapes that I've die cut, punched, anything that I've stamped that I think I might use again sometime in the future. Okay, so each colour has one of those bags. In fact, all the DSP has one as well. Underneath here are my current die folders, and if I can just pick one up for you, show. Let's just, right, okay, let's bring this over. I have made a video with all the contact details where I bought these and everything. They're made by Papercraft, Do Crafts, Paper Mania. So what you buy is you get the folder and you get the plastic wallet and a sheet of magnet, but the magnet is very floppy, but that not a problem to me because I put some white card on the back so that I can do a die cut of what all the dies look like, and then I adhere it on the back. These 4 I keep right at the front. They're not in alphabetical order, but these are the 4 that I use most. Then everything else is in alphabetical order, and then I die cut them like that. And the reason I do that is sometimes it fires my inspiration, other times I'm looking for something particular, and by seeing the actual die cut it makes me think, oh yes. For example, it's probably not a good example, but it'll give you an idea. With the that little shape there, the bow bit, if I was looking for angel's wings, you know, I might think, oh, that's a good idea. In fact, the one above it would probably be a better idea, wouldn't it? If this way or that way, whichever. Anyway, I prefer to do it that way. Also, I experimented with the long die cuts on this one, and to see whether I could line it up and what a pattern would look like. You know, I have time to play by doing it like this. It takes a long time to get it all set up, especially when there's a new annual catalogue out. But for the time that it saves me and the ideas it gives me, it's well worth it. Also on these, what I do with my Brother labeler, I put the name of the set of dies. I put a letter there, that's T for thinlits, then the product number and the number of dies. So before I put it away, I can just count, make sure that I have however many dies that says. And then up here, I also have the name of the stamp set. And on the stamp set, underneath that, I will put the name of the dies. So each of them are cross-referenced. Not only is it very useful for when I'm working, but it's also very helpful now that the system has actually kicked in for when I'm selling. I don't have to worry, oh, what was the stamp set that went with these dies, etc, etc. Okay, so it's a great system. It works for me. So you may want to give it a try. As I say, it took a lot of effort switching over, but I'm glad I persevered. Right, okay, so back on the floor, there's that blue unit there, which is a little bit of filing that I need to keep in here. And also there's one pocket right at the very front, which is where I put my receipts and things. On the odd occasion, I do go through and update my accounts. Probably not as often as I should do. Right, this beautiful bluey green unit underneath my desk is an IKEA unit, and I think probably every crafter in the land has one of these. But there should be 3 lids to it, 3 trays. My third one is underneath the dressing table because it was too tall to get it under this unit. But that's fine. I've got my retired punches in the top tray, and in the bottom one I've got bits and pieces and also my scrap paper because I do use a lot of that. And then further over there is my punch board, not my punch board, there is my scoreboard, my trimmer, and then my post office thing to make sure that find out whether my letters are letters or parcels. And just some files and everything behind there. Before I go, I just want to show you my rubbish bin. You know those like rubbish things that you have, like a little sandbag that rests on your desk, then the bag hangs down for your rubbish? I pinned mine to my rubbish bin. I put a plastic bag in there. Let's take that out. I'll sort that out in a minute. But I keep mine like that, and it's pinned on with 2 of these clips. So when I'm working, I can put my non-paper rubbish in there, in the plastic bag of course, and my paper rubbish in there, so I don't have to sort it out afterwards. So that makes my life a lot nice and easy. Right, now moving along. Oh, by the way, that was my camera as well under there, which is what I use to take photographs of my cards. Right, now these drawer units I have here were a brilliant find by one of the ladies in my team, Moya. She found these in Asda, and as the saying goes, they were as cheap as chips, and she very kindly got me some and sent me some down. And I have labelled quite a lot of these, but not all of them. To start off with this end, most of the things are bits that I will be making projects with, like there's packets of tissues, post-it notepads, dry marker pens. That looks like a selection. There's lip butter and hand wash in that one. Moving along, there's a you can see a highlighter at the bottom there. Above that are my blocks, and that is absolutely chock-a-block with blocks because I just use loads of them. I don't have to worry about changing my stamps over. I used to, but not now. And then the one above it is all my scissors, all Stampin' Up except for the one pair you see me use, which aren't Stampin' Up. And I use these because they are non-stick, which means I never have to clean them. And then up here I have my watercolor pencils, which I've put in DVD cases. Okay, I've got some more markers down there as well. Right, and moving along, in here I have some flat pack boxes. I think these are retired ones from Stampin' Up. More of the same there, bits and pieces. These are sweets that I've got ready for projects. iPad, oh, you can see me, look at that. Bits and pieces there, non-Stampin' Up there. This is a Stampin' Up drawer because I can see my paper piercer, the uninked ink pads. What was that? Oh, they're LED lights. Oh yeah, that's what it says. Dummy. And more things for projects. And in the trays, which I bought from Tesco's, I think it was a pack of 2 for, I don't know, cheapest chips again. But they're all like Memory and More cards, projects. These are flat pack boxes. I'm sorry about the light on here, but it's a beautiful sunny day out there and I have my blind down. Unfortunately, I suffer with migraines if I get a flash of sunlight, if it hits on a window or something like that, so I have to be careful. In here, these are projects that I've already made, like these and these 2 here. These are the paint brushes that I borrowed from hubby the other day. If you saw Wednesday's video, and he very kindly said I could keep them all, so I have. And these are my embossing folders. And more things that I am planning to make projects with. And this is one of my colour coach things that I made. I have got more and I will be selling them, and I'm not restricted apparently for selling because it is a product that I've made with Stampin' Up products. I checked that out with one of our ladies when I was on the incentive trip. So watch out on my blog because I will be putting a price up there, and whereas I will be happy to send them anywhere, I will be charging you the actual postage on them. Anyway, that's by the by. So that's my little tin of sweets. Right, now as we move round, let's put that back again. Right, these are my the units I use for my paints, my inks rather. The first 2 columns are largely retired except for these ones here. They're not. In fact, that's a classic, I think, is it? Yeah, that's a classic ink, so that's not retired. But this side are all current. As you can see, I have some new and some old. I love the new ink pads, but I can't just go ahead and change all of them over. I've managed to change some, and I will do all of them slowly, because they look so much sleeker. I like how they store. I like how they open as well. Nowhere near as much of a fight. But I'll do it slowly. This here is, when I first heard about it, I was disappointed with it. And basically what this is if you put some of your Tombow onto a silicone mat and use one of these sponges and like spread it all around so it's all nice and thin, then you can use that to dab it onto intricate bits that you want to glue down. And I thought it was rather messy having to clean that up afterwards, and not my kind of thing. But then I saw recently that somebody said you can actually just keep it in an airtight container and it won't go dry and nasty. So that's what I'm doing, and since then I've been very pleased with it. So thank you for whoever came up with that idea. Right, on the top of my units here I have some mugs. The first one on the left hand side was from Stampin' Up. We were all given one on stage. The next two I think were both from my team leader. The Janet, I'm not sure where that came from. In case you're interested in what it says, it gives her all in everything she does, the belle of every ball. Well, the first bit, yeah, I do. If I can't do a job properly, then I'm not really interested in doing it at all. Right, the one with the J on, that is the one of the presents I got when I left my main job, commuting into London. So yeah, that's nice. Right, I work with my laptop in my room now, and I have this shelf type thing which you can higher and lower. And obviously when I want to use my laptop I just pull it down, lift it down, put it onto here. It blocks up what's under there, but that's fine. If I'm working my laptop I don't want to work with my paints and things. But right next to it is my Dymo, and this is great because I have my cable here and I just plug that into here and I can print off my labels because it's all connected. So really well pleased with that. Underneath here, these are my stamping blends, but I need extra trays, so I've ordered 6. I'm not sure that I'll have 6 under here, but I thought I'd order more than I need, just in case. And then next to this I have the box at the back. There is only to stop me from pushing these in and pushing them straight off the edge there. And these boxes I have, these are my adhesives on there. Okay, so that's, I have the dimensionals in there and my glue dots. And this is my new sized middle layer for my cards. These are rhinestones, and these are rhinestones as well. This was layer 2, and that was layer 1 before I changed my size. I decided that I preferred to have a bigger gap around my cards, so that one is redundant now really, although occasionally I do use it. I really probably should put that cardstock back into circulation. This one is my chamois, and this one is cardstock DSP that has been attached to our, I think it's called multi-purpose adhesive sheets, where it's double-sided. So if I die cut on any of these I can pull off the backing and it's sticky all over. I always work on my desk on my self-healing cutting mat, but I also use this, and this is shiny, as you can see, because I had it laminated, and it's absolutely fantastic. When it gets a bit sticky, a bit dirty, I just go over it with sticky stuff remover and it comes up like new. If you do decide to have it done, please beware that my printer didn't have the acetate that fitted this size perfectly, so he had to cut this down. So that really is cut down to the very edge. I hope that's showing through. He hasn't cut any of the numbers off. Let me turn it over for the metric size. That size is okay. In fact, he was very close to the numbers there as well. So you may want to warn your printer, because you don't want him, if you go down one sheet, you don't want him to ruin your one and only sheet. You don't want to go home and get more. So there we go, that's that. Now I'm going to move it along. I have two lights on my desk which I use for my this one that's right near me is for when I'm working, and the one that's down the other end is for when I'm videoing as well. I use both. Here are two units I have my punches in, and as I said before, if you see something with a dot, you know that's retired, but I do keep my squares, my circles, ovals and things like that because they're just so useful. My big shot, and on top of there I have in fact the elephant on the light, the pink one, and also the purple one. They both came from Phuket. The purple one was from Stampin' Up. Then I got 3 pots of embossing paste, and then I've got a couple of trays there with different bits and pieces that come in useful for projects. And then my drawer has, my desk rather, has 3 drawers. Top one's very messy. I'm not going to give you a walk through it. You can see what's there. Hopefully it's similar to yours. If it's much tidier than mine, I don't want to know. You know, it works, it's fine. This one's much tidier, but then I don't have that much in it. The baby wipes everybody needs, and my envelopes there. Oh, these are the old colour coaches that Stampin' Up used to sell. I wish they'd bring those back as well. Right, and then the last drawer is my filing drawer, another filing drawer, but this is where I keep my stamps and my post book. What I do is I actually buy the stamps myself, and then when I need to post something, parcels, letters or whatever, I put it into my post book, and that amount gets charged onto my tax return. And the advantage of doing it this way round is I put in the book what I have sent to whom, how much it cost, when I sent it, etc, etc. So that's really useful to keep. And then in here I have plastic wallets, plastic folders, and very little that's Stampin' Up related, except I can see some my templates of projects that I've made, some box templates, Stampin' Up templates and instructions, Shrinky Dinks, which could be reindeer food, and anti-depression kits, both things that I've done at some stage or other for Christmas fairs. Right, so now if we move up to that side, the stool underneath the dressing table, it has a blue box on it, and inside there are complete sheets of retired DSP, and that's what I use for my test projects, my first prototypes. I have 3 drawers either end and 1 in the middle. So what I have here in the first one, cards and envelopes, not used. Next one is, oh, these are my note cards and envelopes, and I think, yeah, my envelopes are in there as well. These are my Stampin' Up ones, except for the 4x4s, which I ordered separately for a project. And in this one, more cards and envelopes, again not Stampin' Up. In this top drawer here are my electrical bits, and this one is absolutely fabulous. I sent to America for this. It's a ribbon iron. I have on the floor there a adapter so I can plug this in, but you plug it in, lock it, and it's like that, so you slowly pull the ribbon through. Sorry, let's do that again. You plug it in, put your ribbon in there, lock it closed, and then pull the ribbon through slowly, and it gets rid of any creases. It's absolutely brilliant. I love that. And then I have some heat tools that I used to use, a glue gun, which is also redundant because I got a nice new one, staple gun, bits and pieces. And then as I move down this end, the top drawer is just electrical adapters. Yeah. The next one is Pencil cases, that's one that we got from Stamping Up. That one I got from my team leader. That one we got from, this was our travel papers for Alaska. And then it's all tablecloths for when I have people for classes and such like. And I won't show you the last one because hubby's got clothes in there. Okay, so the units here, again, these are from Storage for Crafts. So this one here, they are all cellophane bags, all different sizes. This is for when I do craft shows, so that everything gets nicely bagged up. And then this unit and the one above it, they are all my catalogues. That's English, French, German, the annual catalogue and also the Christmas catalogues. So if you don't have a Stamping Up demo and you would like catalogues, please let me know. And then units up here, as you can see, all I've done is put two planks of wood across from one unit across to the other. So these here and here and here are all retired catalogues, but I find it useful, very useful, to keep them on hand. That one's wedding stationery, that one's weddings that I've done, not something I get involved with now. Right at the top there, those units are holding lots of bits and pieces that are non-Stamping Up, which is why they're so high up there, because I don't use them, don't need them. And then next I have a binder tool, which I really will play with one day. And as I move along here, these are all my notebooks. I make masses and masses of notes. This is, oh, these are the pages for my die filing system, and this is a paper pumpkin that a lady in Arkansas sent me. Oh, was I thrilled when that arrived. I wish we had it over here, I really do. Up there, without moving too quickly, that's my ink spot boxes, and I have done a video to show how I made these. I can't open one up because I can't do single-handed. Oh, you can see me. Hi. Right, it should be that way so that they're stored upside down. Okay, so there's a fitting in there which keeps them in their columns, and there's also something in there that looks after the little daubers that I've put Velcro stoppers on. But I would like to show you this as well. And this was a fabulous gift we got when we were in Thailand last year from Stamping Up. Isn't that absolutely stunning? I absolutely love it. The lid comes off. It's not just a you know, a shape thing. It is actual what I would call an urn, really, but no ashes in it. Right, now up here, let's go back. Let's just brought those down. In fact, let's move those over there. We've done that side. There's another one of those blue boxes. Can't think what's in there. Right, these I found in Poundland. I have two of them. They're really meant for rolls of kitchen foil, but they're absolutely superb for washi tape. So I got that one, and I have another one. Okay, they are just so nice and easy to keep like that. And then I have these. I've got it down to just two of them now, and this is how I store my daubers and my sponges. I label on the outside. I've been changing this around because of the colour revamp. Okay, so each one's got a dauber and each one's got a sponge. in an ideal world they'd all be in alphabetical order, but that's I can't do that. That's okay just for 12 months at the most, until there's the new in colours. And that's better done that one. Let's try and do this one. Oh yeah, that's it, done. Now it goes back on the shelf with that little tab sticking out. Right, okay. Now this, alright, let's get rid of these first, otherwise I can't talk about this bit properly. And let's put these back. Right, okay. Now this unit here, for those of you old enough will recognise that that is a CD unit. CD, not CD, cassette unit. All our little cassettes used to go in there. Absolutely ideal size for this. I don't really need it because I don't use all these colours and things, but I just like all my things being nicely stored and what have you. My guillotine is Stampin' Up, as you can see, no handle, but then that's because I keep it in here. If it's on here, then it sticks out from there and it's so easy to walk into it. But this unit here I have to show you. It is absolutely amazing. It's a Sizzix unit, and I can't think for the life of me what it's called, but it's been designed so that it sits here, it clips onto your Big Shot, and it means you can keep your trays, your mats, your plates right by the side of you, because the bit that it's sitting on is adjustable. So if you only got one or two, close it up. If you've got several, open it up a bit. And you've also got these little bits here. This is my extension arm for this, so I keep that in there. It's got its own sellotape store for a couple of spare ones there. Got my bone folder. So it is absolutely fantastic. I used to keep it on my Big Shot all the time, but because I make videos, it was on, off, on, off, on, off so frequently that I was getting a bit worried that I would either weaken this or maybe break it. Probably not, but I didn't want to take a chance. It was sent to me by a demo friend of mine who lives in Australia. Although I could find this available here in the UK, I could only find them in white. Well, I wanted black for my black Big Shot, so Trisha very kindly got one for me and sent it over. So we'll be forever grateful for that, Trisha. Thank you. Right, so now we move on. I don't normally have my kitchen roll over here, my studio kitchen roll, but it is covering up something there. This is how I store my 6x6. It's hiding something because it is a project idea for me. But this is where I keep my 6x6 designer series paper. I've got all the packs of the colour families, which I'm really, really pleased to see back again. And then I've got the vellum there. I think that's called stained glass. And then that one's called garden. And then after that it's the chic something or other, which is my absolute favourite one. Don't know if I can pull it out, can I? Yes, there we go. Absolutely love that. I've left half of them behind because the front one should have been a pink one. But there we go. So that's those. So as I say, project idea there. Right, okay, now this unit, in here I have my special promotion pens, which I was very lucky to be in the right place at the right time and got a really good deal on these. So it's got my website, my mobile, and that I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And the end of the pen, that's a stylus to use on your phone, and this end is a pen. So they were an absolute bargain. In this one, they are all Stampin' Up pens, different types. I've been given at events, or these ones I actually bought using my flex points. And then oh, I know somebody who would like those. Things that I've made but never used. Not quite sure what that is. They're the tags for my die folders. Whisper White shapes that I've done. Whisper White strips, not sure why I'm keeping those. Probably seemed like a good idea at the time. And also these are my transparent labels, which is what I've used for my colour coach type things. And then in here I have board, no idea what I'm going to use that for, 240 GSM, which I find very useful for cards and displays and things when I do craft shows. That one is what I use. It's 100 GSM creamy colour that I use for my daughter's wedding invitations. 100 GSM, 120 GSM. Moving up. This is a cubby hole that I need to keep an eye on every day, because there are bits there that need to be actioned. And then the next two trays are greeting cards and letters and things that I've received from my customers and from my subscribers and from lots of people who follow me, and I'm sentimental, so I can't get rid of those. And then the top two are just bits and pieces which are non-Stampin' Up, which are just languishing, but that's fine, they can languish. Right, and in here, these two units, again Stampin' Up, IKEA rather, the stamp sets are all current stamp sets, and where you see they've got some washi tape around them as opposed to a coloured dot, that means they're new and I haven't used them yet. It was a great idea that I saw from France Martin, Frenchie. She does that to all her new stamp sets, and then she takes them off once she uses them so she can see at a glance which ones she hasn't used. So I follow that as well. Now this here at the bottom, this is full of my retired colours, and these have just been taken out of the unit that I've already shown you over there. So this is what I come to first of all when I'm going to start working on a new project. And then right by the side is the blue trolley thing. It does have bits and pieces in, but that's what I use when we're doing a craft show to transport stuff from here to there. And then the next two are different ideas for projects and things that I have. Could be all sorts. I've got something covered up there because I didn't want it exposed, but there we go. I think I have shown you everything. In fact, I didn't show you the plaque that we received when we were in Alaska, and that's that one up there, and sitting by it are a couple of home decor bits that Moya, lady of my team, sent down for me. She's very good at hunting out things that are a bit different and also bargains. Just show you on the tops of my handles on my wardrobes, because this was a bedroom at one time. Little bits and pieces that I've got. The first one that you can see was congratulations for recruiting most people in Stampin' Stars team in 2016-2017. So I'm very proud of that. Stampin' Stars is Natalie's team, who I'm a member of. Now this was the bonus tracker, that incentive trip bonus tracker that we put up when we started working for the Greek island trip. And on 1st of October I'll be putting a new one up, and that will be to earn the trip to Hawaii. By the way, I made it. I got right to the top there, so I'm pleased about that. And then there's the tambourine. I'm going to be in front of my desk rather than right up close. The tambourine is what I brought home with me from Centre Stage. We had these, and there was another musical instrument. Centre Stage is something that Stampin' Up! Organised for Silver Elite and above on the night before on stage. It's a special dinner, extra bit of training. And that one I think was either my team leader or my team leader's team leader, i.e. Natalie. And the polar bear I know is my team leader. And I think the only other thing that I want to show you, which has just fallen on the floor, just as a reminder, on my chair, now you might see me like put my hand to my side when I'm making videos. It's because I do sit on a towel, and the reason I sit on a towel is so if I get paint on my fingers, wet fingers, sticky fingers, I can just wipe it down the side here. Anybody else sit on a sit on a towel to wipe their fingers? So there we go. That's everything, I think. Oh no, just a minute. In the cupboards, I'm not going to open the doors because they are actually wardrobes. But in this first one here, I have padded envelopes and some hardback envelopes. Nothing in those two because they're like our library. Over there, those cupboards actually go over a chimney breast, so they're not quite as deep as the ones either end. And then that one underneath the tambourine, that is mine, and that's got masses of card making stuff. A lot of it is Stampin' Up. It's like the spray mist for the stamp cleaner, is some of the old big dies that they used to have, and all manner of things. So that's still part of my studio. And then in that wardrobe, right at the bottom, there are lots more padded envelopes. There are ink cartridges for my printer, which are big ones because my printer's a laser printer. And I think one more item just down there on the floor, round the corner, that I made out of a Stampin' Up! Box. I made two of them obviously because it's sliced diagonally. And it's what I use to use my spritzer spray so that it doesn't go all over everywhere. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today. I hope you've enjoyed this little trip round my studio. So now you can imagine me sitting here working away, trying to convince myself that I'm working, but how can I be working when I'm doing something that I love? There we go. I've just been very blessed. So many thanks for joining me today. As I say, I hope you've enjoyed this. Any questions, please put them in the box below. I will answer you if I can. If you ask me anything in particular about the video, if you could just note approximately what time it is, so that I don't have to flick all the way through to find the bit that you're referring to, I would appreciate that. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.